Good morning.
Take
Yeah.
my, okay. Is that, can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm able to hear.
Okay. Well, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Looking forward to having a conversation with you this morning.
Absolutely. Same here. Center frame, huh? So maybe little you have to adjust to my level, Neena ji.
Okay, how do I do that?
Just you tilt your camera a little up, down, down.
Now, is that better?
No, maybe you can see the gap a little bit more up.
Is that better?
No, it's
Oh.
you have to tilt more down, up. I think up.
Okay, let me just, oh, okay.
So now it is fine.
It's good? Now it's better?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to figure out these Zoom things nowadays with
I know.
I know. But you know what? It brings us all together. So I think that's a major, right? So
That's very nice. Actually, even I don't do the face to face
okay.
because the reason is face to face is again more expensive, and you need to have a crew and you need to do this. I'm doing for the benefit of the community. Once I get into this, then I have to ask sponsorships and all those. I don't know.
Right, I can totally understand. But you know what? You're on the right path. And if this continues, then that would be, and you're in Atlanta. Otherwise, I would tell you that on March 8th, I'm the guest of honor at the Indian consulate in New York. And if you wanted to come, but since you're in Atlanta, it's like, they have
Please
Women's
send
Month.
me.
Yeah,
Definitely send me the information,
I
and
will
I
definitely.
don't mind sometimes coming because it is very good to have be there and meet people. You will
Right,
not
right.
get an opportunity. Sometimes
No,
you need
that
to
is true. Yeah, I will definitely send you the information. And since you are in media, I'm sure they'd be, welcoming you any which way.
absolutely, Ninaji, because this media group is not highly funded actually in
Right,
US.
right, right. And you may find people at the consulate. I mean, if it's an Indian consulate event, you may have similar thinking people there.
Absolutely, because when I go to the consulate here, I meet a lot of good people, and
Right.
because I've been like people asking, because I meet so many people, people have an expectation of job, so that's the reason I resigned from
Oh,
my job and I
right.
started my own company. And
Okay.
believe me or not, I've been doing the service, and now it's time for monetizing, taking back some
Yes,
help.
absolutely. And I think there comes or getting some angel investors, getting people to, you need to take one of those trips where you're talking to investors and, talking about your vision and how you want to, get it to the next level and what you need.
And every CEO I interview, they give me good comments, feedback, and they
Right.
said that you need to pursue this to the next level. So I've been
No, I
doing
think
that.
that is
People,
great. Right.
absolutely,
And definitely share the link. I'll put it, I'm sure you will put it on your LinkedIn. So I'll make sure it's on my LinkedIn and a lot of people get eyeballs on it that way.
absolutely. I have already put that yesterday, the flyer, and
Okay.
once it is done, again I'll put on the LinkedIn, and I've tagged you as well, so that
Okay. So
the
I can then
visibility.
share it on my LinkedIn. Perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think we have another 5 minutes, Ninaji.
Okay, sure. I
So
can, in the meanwhile, you can carry on with your stuff and I'll just look at some.
okay, I'll just call him, and because
Yeah.
the link they will transmit to the TV5 as well, and then once he is ready, and then we can continue.
Yeah. So just let me know. I'm here. I'm doing some other stuff. Let me know when we're ready and we're ready to go.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Ninaji, you need to give me suggestions as well how to get into a small boards and learn more about that, and how we can serve the community here in Georgia as well. If you have good connects, you are talking on
Unmute
mute.
myself. Yes, I had someone texted me about something. So yes, definitely let's have conversation after this interview. We can, you know, maybe figure out a way. Are you involved in anything in Atlanta, in any work? I was involved in
Right.
this organization that I started called Stand Central New Jersey. So we were engaging and educating voters, and that I felt is a good way to get engaged, you as well, right? I'm sure there's a lot of stuff happening, especially now with the presidential election. It's good to get involved that way as a volunteer, and then of course what comes from that.
Absolutely. I think you can connect me someone, so then I can
Yes, I
start.
will definitely do that. Yes, I will
And
definitely do.
you belong to which party? I could not trace that.
Democrat.
I thought
I'm
so because the congressman has was present during your
Yeah,
oath ceremony?
and he came. Of course, he's running for Senate, which is huge, and as a fellow Asian, so he was there. And then Bonnie Watson Coleman is also our congresswoman. So yes, they are Democrats. But at a
Absolutely.
local level, the party doesn't matter as much because people want to see that their roads are cleared if it's snowing, that their potholes are fixed, and that, all of that is more important than, which party. But yes, once you get to a state level, of course.
Absolutely. So I entered slowly into the, I'm a CAB Citizen Advisory Board for the Sheriff Office.
Okay, very
That
good.
is the first step I got into. But I definitely want something in the educational field. I was been trying because people are busy here. And even I am busy in my own, I started my own company. So
Okay.
I definitely wanted to get involved in any of the volunteer committee to learn
Yes.
more about the system.
I think it's so important for us as Indians to get involved because that's not something we do naturally, right? It's not
Absolutely.
something that we think about. So I think it's so important. And our next generation, they need to see us getting involved and then they get involved.
Absolutely. So I
Right.
think it's time. I'll call him.
Okay, sure. Let me know if the camera or anything needs to be fixed. And if
No, I
everything's
think he's
good.
fine.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready now?
Ready, sir. Sound on చెప్పాను.
ఒక్క నిమిషం. How come my name is Manjusha? Yeah. Ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. So Lalesh, tell me when you are ready.
I'm ready, sir.
Okay.
Going to count. సార్ కొంచెం థమ్ చూయించి లైట్ ఉండాలి.
Okay.
రెడీ సార్. రెడీ. 5 4 3 2 1 go.
Welcome to TV5 and Mana TV and another episode of Insight with Praveen Puram live from Atlanta. We have been doing number of episodes on how to motivate Indo-Americans and also the NRIs across the US. And one other effort is to introduce our special guest today and why this special guest. So our special guest is Neena Singh. Welcome to the show, Neena Singh. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
making time for us. And why is she special for our show today? She is the first Indian American woman mayor and first Sikh woman mayor to be elected to the local government of New Jersey. So people like Neena ji who have been excelled in their career in the public services and which is very important for us. So that is where our guest is here today. Let's learn from her more about the public service and what are the challenges in her public service journey. So again, good morning, Neena ji. Thank you so much for being on this show. And
Good morning.
yeah, as a part of this show, we bring all the esteemed guests who are successful in their journey, especially in the Indo-American community. And I wanted to definitely show your experience in your journey and motivate other Indo-Americans to be in the public service, which is very, very important. Before we get started, let me introduce about Neena Singh. So she, as I said, she is the first Indian American woman mayor elected in the Montgomery, New Jersey. She is passionate community activist and big proponent of public service. She believes that we all have a responsibility to give back. Neena has an extensive history of service within the community with PTA, Boy Scouts, and many grassroots engagement initiatives. She has worked tirelessly in Somerset County as a community organizer. Neena is a passionate advocate of mental wellness and proudly serves on the advisory board of Mental Health Mindfulness focused NJ nonprofit HMHBI. A resident of Montgomery since 1997, she is deeply rooted into the community, and her journey is a testament to her dedication to the public service, professional excellence, and community well being. And this has made her respected and well-known figure in Montgomery, New Jersey. She is also an executive officer at STAND, Central New Jersey, a grassroots nonprofit where she focused not only on engaging and educating voters, but also empowering them to participate in our democracy. She works as a senior partner with Kelly Williams Corner Store and is honored to serve as a social equality ambassador of the New York tri-state area. Her contributions extend various local communities, including the boards of fire prevention, budget finance extend across various communities, including the local emergency management council, pedestrian safety and mobility committee, recreation committee, planning board, transportation advisory committee, and the youth leadership council, showcasing a diverse interest and dedication to civic engagement. Mayor Singh believes diversity of voice is important to ensure decisions reflect the community we serve. She was also recognized for her activism and was awarded NJ Governor's Synergy Award for her preserving community service. She lives by the maxim, be the change you wish to see in the world. Excellent. Ninaji, I think it's an excellent journey. I probably you have been more than 2 decades in the public service. So tell us what made you to contest for a mayor.
Yes, I actually got into political life with a different, the alternate route. As Indians, we know seva, which is service, is part of our growing up. So that was something that was inculcated in me by my parents, that we all have a responsibility to give back. And I know a lot of Indians who'll be listening to this message know that, we all grew up saying ki seva karo, do something, give back. And so I got involved first at a very local level. I was part of the PTA. I was part of the Boy Scouts. My son was in Boy Scouts. I was part of the Girl Scouts. So that's how my journey went into the public service sphere. And then from there, I started seeing that, we as Indians are not as involved in civic engagement. And, I started the nonprofit we just talked about, which was Stand Central New Jersey, sure that we need to get involved. We need to get out there and be part of the democracy, getting people to realize why voting is important, why we need to get our voices heard. And so then I was approached by, the Democratic organization in town, and they said, we see you everywhere. We see you, making a difference, volunteering. We want you to run. And that's my journey. So I decided, at first I was not sure, but then it's something I said to myself that, this is something that's important. My daughter said to me, Mom, this is, if not you, who's going to do this? You need to make time for this, because we're all busy, right? We all say we have so many things we're doing. How can we add one more? And so, yes, I put my name in the hat, and now I am the mayor of Montgomery Township in New Jersey.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Neena
much.
ji, most of us, to chase the American dream, everyone come to this country to earn money and make ourselves comfortable, and we never give a thought in the public service. So now, to all the youth and many of us like me, where do we start to get engaged into the public service?
Right. I think, if you can put that in, it's something that I've always thought to myself is, first you serve, right? Because when you serve, doesn't matter where you serve, there are so many volunteer organizations, even in local government, right? There are committees. We're always in Montgomery, and believe me, this is true in any state, any town in the whole nation, where people reach out and say, we are looking for volunteers in the recreation committee. We are looking for volunteers in the planning board. We are looking for volunteers. These are all committees that you can get in because you live in that town, right? So that's the first thing I would say. Find a place to serve, and it don't even have to be in the government. You can go serve on your local PTA. You can go serve on a Boy Scout committee. You can go serve in your business organization in town. Just make time. And I know it's very difficult. I'm an immigrant myself. I'm not even, I was going to say first generation. No, I am myself an immigrant. I was born in India, and in Amritsar, India, and I came to this country as a young person. So yes, we all need to make a living, right? We all come here with all these hopes and aspirations, and we all need to make a living. And but we can chalk out some time to do that serve part, and then what that serve part helps us learn, right? I didn't come into this country knowing what I need to do and how I need to, navigate all of these committees, and how do I need to make a difference? What are the asks or the needs of my community? Those I learned by being in all these different organizations. And then I think that leads to this. So if you go with the serve and then you learn, and then I think the next part would be leading, because then maybe in a volunteer organization, you could be the chair of the rec committee or any other committees that you can think of, or you're the chair of your local business organization. So you're giving back your time. And then that leads to the next aspect where I am right now. So I think to me, it would be you serve, you learn, and then you lead. So that's how I
Absolutely.
would look at it.
So, Mayor Nina, I would definitely want to give little insight on these municipalities and how, for example, if you take New Jersey, there are close to 530 or 40 municipalities and
Absolutely.
560 mayors. And if I zoom to you into a Montgomery, if you can give little layout of that so that we all understand what is a municipality, how the
Right.
council stand, and what is your roles and responsibilities.
Yes. So I think if you look at Montgomery itself, we are a town which is around 23 plus 1,000 people. So I would say maybe close to 24,000. And we do have a robust Asian population. We are about 39%. We are situated between Princeton, New Jersey, which everybody knows because of the university, right? And then we have our neighbor Hillsborough, and then we are situated between two towns, Hopewell and Franklin. So we are known as Central New Jersey, just to give people who may not be in New Jersey an idea of where we are. And as you said, there are so many towns and municipalities in New Jersey. Of course, I'm biased, and I think we are the best. So I think the one of the main attractions, and let me be honest, when we moved, so my husband and I moved we were in India, of course, and then we were in Toronto, Canada. And when we moved to from Toronto, Canada, and my husband was coming here for a job in New Jersey, we were looking at schools. Our kids were small, and we were looking at schools. And Montgomery schools are one of those, you know, icons that people know about. It's a great school system. Parents are invested in their kids. We have amazing teachers. So I think, just to give you an idea of what Montgomery is, we like to call it the best kept secret. It's no longer a secret because we do get people from all over New Jersey who move in for that. And also, I think we are a town which is very focused on community. People are engaged, people want to help each other, the neighbors. I mean, it's one of those towns where neighbors care about each other. So, and these committees are pretty standard, what I was talking about as far as towns are concerned. But, you'll have, for example, recreation committee. That would be your parks and what kind of recreation activities you provide in your town. We have the environmental commission. That's another committee, which is again made of volunteers to see how we can do environmentally, prudent stuff in town. So like this, you have different committees. And if anybody who's listening goes and checks their own town and puts in their town name and local government, they'll see all of these, and they'll even see we are looking for volunteers. So I think this hopefully gives you some slice of what, first of all, what Montgomery is, and then secondly, how other people can in their own towns get involved.
Absolutely. I think the reason I'm asking these questions is the viewers should understand where are the opportunities to volunteer, where are the opportunities to put forward their request, and how they can make their request to be heard by the government officials, right?
Yes.
So coming to the town, right? For example, when you sworn as a mayor,
Yeah.
right? So what are the things which can impact the community in the Indo-American community, what are the things you think that can be impacted or influenced?
Yes, I think the impact that the Indo-American community brings is that we are strong. We are culturally and financially, to be honest. We come in to the country and we work hard. We are dedicated, and so I think what influence they bring and is, I think at this point, what I see and what want from our Indian brothers and sisters and other immigrant families, and of course our own population in Montgomery, is being involved. Right, the more you get involved, the more you can give back, and the more you can make a difference. So I think the impact on them, as far as like, if you asked me how my particular government is making a difference in the Indo community, then I would say, since I am now there and I have a seat at the table, the onus is upon me to make sure I get more of our Asian brothers and sisters involved. And the way I am doing it right now is two things: that I have assigned a mayor's wellness a pledge, which will bring more community engagement. So we have different groups. I have my health department involved. We have people from the community who are doing mental wellness. They are involved. We have people who do events, because, there are always recreation events, and that brings our community out, and to get them involved. And similarly, with Youth Leadership Council that we have in our town, I've been able to engage our youth. So basically, Youth Leadership Council is an application they do in the beginning of the year, the students in high school. And through that, they can get involved in the government. So basically, we have over 100 applications this year. We will be selecting, there's a selection committee. We will be selecting the high school students who, fall in that parameters. We are taking about 20 out of 100. I know it's over 100 and it's tough, but basically these kids will learn civic engagement and government from the bottom up. So they get to be part of these committees that I'm talking about, different ones. We have a shade tree committee. There are like different committees the kids can be part of, and they understand how government works. So this is something that I'm doing to make sure that once the kids learn, I'm sure the parents learn from the kids. And so this gives them a chance to get involved. So these are the efforts I'm making out there. I'm making sure that I bring more people who can see what we are doing, because I think we grow up with government is on one side and we are doing our life on the other side. I'm trying to say that it's all together. What we do in our towns and in our governments is benefit for everybody who lives in that town, all residents, and whatever we can do, it benefits us, it benefits our families, our next generation. So that's my efforts with our community.
That's really fantastic, Mayor Nina, because even I'm speaking to a mayor for the first time. So a lot of insight I wanted to get. And you spoke about the applying for the young youth for the
Youth
different
Leadership Council. Yeah, Youth Leadership Council. We call it the YLC, but it's Youth Leadership Council. Yes.
So where do they, if at all, any of the parents or the students are really interested, if they are in the different cities wherever they are located, do they have to go to the website and approach, or it is all interaction?
So right. For Montgomery Youth Leadership Council, it would be Montgomery kids. But believe me, every town in the US has opportunities for the youth. So I would encourage all parents who are watching or kids who are watching to go to their town website and put down youth volunteers, and you will see opportunities. You don't even have to have a designation or be part of that. You'll see maybe a stream cleanup coming up, maybe an Earth Day fair coming up. And as a resident, you can absolutely go there, and you will be surprised by how many people you'll meet who'll say, "Oh, wonderful to see you here." And you'll say, "Well, I'm looking for something to do." And they'll say, "Absolutely. We have opportunity for you to get involved." And especially our young generation, they're so good at social media. They're so good at graphics. They're so good at putting information together. They build websites. So every town, believe me, would welcome, the youth engagement. Doesn't matter where they live, they're going to see it. I just encourage them to go to their own town website, put down in the search youth volunteer, and they'll see opportunities. I guarantee it.
Absolutely, Rinaji. Today's world is more digitally engaged, right?
Yes.
So even though you are get good in technically or policy making, but how do you take it to the people? That is very important. And our youth is very good in social media and graphics. And
Right.
also, I'm planning to bring a cinepreneurship. That is the program I want to run for the kids 13 and
Okay.
above.
Very
So that is
nice.
very soon I'm planning for it. The reason is I feel that when we get back to see in our life, however, if you interact more, you will learn more. If you are in a room shelled, then you will not be excelled. That's what I realized because these are very
100%.
important. So today's problems, let's talk about mental health. You have
Right.
spoke more about mental health. You spoke about health and safety, and you
Right.
spoke about education, and you also spoke about law enforcement. These are the priority for all of our Indo-American community, right?
100%. Yes.
So,
Agreed.
what are your steps? What are your steps for your tenure? What are your plans on these areas?
So I think that's what I wanted to bring up, that for 2024, when I am getting into this position, I am the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the initiative that I signed on day one, which was
Mhm.
the Mayor's Wellness Initiative. This is an initiative that is run by the state, and mayors can opt in or not. So my thing was, I want to opt into something that's already structured. So basically, under the Mayor's Wellness umbrella, there can be definitely the mental health aspect is there. We have a very robust municipal alliance which works on different aspects of mental health, anxiety and addiction and all the other things that we sometimes, the stigma involved. And as South Asians, we do not like to talk about these things, but we forget that our kids are high achievers, and we forget that sometimes it is so hard for them to balance their social life, their academic life, and the aspirations of their parents. So sometimes, and if I'm talking as an Indian and South Asian parent, an Asian parent, that is my message as well, because I've lived through it with my kids. It is very tough on them. And sometimes we forget that, we were only in one boat of the one culture. Our kids have their feet in two boats, and it's very tough on them. And as parents, as community leaders, the onus is upon us to make sure we make their life easier. So the mental wellness part has been important to me, even before I got into public service and became the mayor. As I mentioned, this healthy mind, healthy body initiative is I'm an advisor on that. There are other school teachers that are advisor on that, and the basic concept of that is that we have to make our kids stronger, teach resiliency so that they can bounce back, because life is tough, and we have all gone through some bullying, we have all gone through some hardships that come, and how do we overcome them? So I'm very dedicated to the mental wellness part for the entire community. This is not a South Asian or an Asian thing. This is for every child who's growing up in Montgomery, for that matter, growing up in the US. We have to, and seeing what is happening out there in the world, we have to make sure that we make our kids stronger. So the mental wellness part is through under the umbrella of the Mayor's Wellness. So we have the Municipal Alliance. My public health department is running programs. 24th of February coming up, we are running a Beat the Winter Blues event. So Beat the Winter Blues basically means when people are, especially in the north region where we are, we seem to I'm looking at snow outside my window right now, and we all sort of get shut, as you were saying, in our rooms or in our homes. And that's what the winter blues means, that you're not socializing, you are by yourself, and it leads to depression. So Beat the Winter Blues that we are doing on 24th, which is a Saturday, is a collaboration with our farmers market. We run a robust farmers market in Montgomery, and the winter farmers market will be there. So people will talk about healthy eating, nutrition. and then we'll have a mental health aspect. We have some great, we have a psychologist who's going to come and talk about it. We have someone else who's going to talk about how, to build resiliency, how to make, just simple things like how to breathe, how to, meditate, how to, make yourself come out of what you're living through. And then we have little programs for kids. So this event is at our township municipal offices, and we are doing this focused on the mental wellness. So these are like little aspects. I mean, we are doing a lot of other stuff. The safety of the community. We are doing, we have been working on pedestrian safety, crosswalks. We are doing, efforts so that, when our residents are out there, first of all, the mobility is there. They have enough sidewalks. That's one of my personal passions. Crosswalks, because we have 206, which is a very big highway that runs through our town, that, people know that to cross, that we are doing some, lights on the crosswalks. We are doing some, paint, which is going to reflect at night. So we're doing these little efforts to make sure that the community is safe. And I think you asked about the police force. We have a very engaged police force in Montgomery, and I'm very grateful to our police captain who's made sure that he's engaged with our diverse community. We are actually just going to be hiring our first Indian police officer, which is a big deal because, as I said, our community has a robust Indian population. So, the engagement to understand each other, the cultural aspect will come from, but even though we're hiring this one Indian officer now, I feel our PD has been engaged with the community. They understand when there is a Garba, they are there. When there is a Diwali event, our PD comes. They eat the samosas. They see how people are engaging. So I think, I'm making sure that, we all are a community. We engage the social connections. Once we eat with someone, or we, as they used to say, break bread with someone, you get to know someone, then we all realize we're all humans. There is no difference. And that's what builds a community, right?
Excellent initiatives. I think the mental health, wellness,
It's
and
called
the
Mayor's Wellness Campaign. It's so if
campaign.
you, yes, even, and other towns in New Jersey, this is a New Jersey initiative. I am sure there are different ones in different states, but in New Jersey, if you Google Mayor's Wellness Campaign, it gives you all what is happening. We're doing even an art in the park, trying to get all our artists out there, because art is one thing that makes us feel better. We have a trails day where people are going to walk on the trails, and that again is a mental wellness, right? You're getting out in nature, you are breathing, you are not in front of your phone looking at social media, which can also make you anxious. So these are all efforts we are doing to bring the community out.
Excellent, Mayor Nina. So even we have two of the city councils right now, and
Yes.
I think one of the council member is nominated for the mayor's responsibility. So
Okay.
probably I will take this to them. They are my good friends. I've
Oh,
already
very good.
hosted them onto my show. And now tell me, as a mayor, for example, what is the connections or the network? Maybe I would say, how can a mayor of Indo-American area can benefit the individuals and also the small businesses? How can they know more of the opportunities in your Montgomery or in any of the cities? How they can explore the opportunities?
Okay, so if we're talking businesses, which are essential to any small town, this is also on my agenda for 2024 to bring more ratables to Montgomery. So ratables basically means businesses. Montgomery is a very residential community. So ratables help us by bringing the tax base lower, right? But at the same time, we want businesses that, fit in with the community. They are our community partners. So I think any town, and for Montgomery, I can talk about, we have an economic development commission. My very good friend, he's a fellow Asian, Dennis An. He is the liaison from the township in it. And they are working on these initiatives to get the businesses more engaged. we are trying to, make ourselves attractive so we can bring other businesses. We are getting our first Indian restaurant. I think it's called Mango Tree. And we've not had one before. We've had Asian restaurant, of course, but this would be our first Indian one. And, basically the way this was done was to reach out to businesses outside of Montgomery and say, Montgomery is your destination. We are making it a destination town, and come see us. You have opportunities. You have a very diverse population. And well, Indian food is not just for the Indians, right? Indian food is for everybody, and people enjoy Indian food. So I think if keeping that in the restaurant in mind, but at the same time, we have an Asian food market, which is opening, Kashia Food Market. So these are the initiatives that we are trying to bring businesses in, make Montgomery attractive for them. And if there's another town thinking about it, they may have their own economic development commission. We have a business association. So basically, business association businesses participate, and they get to know what initiatives they can do. We have restaurant week, which we do during, I think we do it in the fall, where restaurants get to, all people within the town go to different restaurants. There are all these specials, and the restaurants get a chance to, summer is a busy season, fall sometimes it's not. So they get all these people to come in for these specials they're running. And we do this through the town. So, different initiatives to just bring different kind of businesses. We have actually good business community that is involved from the Indian community. Our Kuman is run by an Indian family. There are a couple of STEM academies which are run by by Indian community as well. And I believe we are getting a golf simulator kind of a business. That's another resident in town who's opening it. So I think there is definitely people who live in town are also the ones who are investing in the town. So that's great. That tells us that people can see the potential for their business in town.
Absolutely. I think that's a great insight, Mayor Nina. So now coming to, because now you are a mayor and you want definitely the improvement of your city. So is there any way that you can also internationally connect with other cities and make partnership as a global trade, economic development growth? Do we have those opportunities
Yes,
as a
we
mayor?
actually, yes. I think New Jersey is signing up, has just signed up, the New Jersey India Trade Commission. So there is a group of people. Of course, they can't put all the mayors on it because the mayors are already busy with their towns. But I know people who are on this New Jersey commission, which is in New Jersey India Commission, and they're going to look at opportunities for all of New Jersey. And for me personally at Montgomery, I am going to be working with one of the leaders in that particular group and see how Montgomery can become a sister city with some other place in this world, and how we can work collaboratively, right? Most probably we will have shared visions with other towns, other cities, and how we can have that dialogue back and forth, how they can help us, we can help them. So yes, definitely, I'm very open to it. We are still talking about it within our township government to see what are the possibilities, how we can bring, international business to us, right? We have Princeton University, which is just maybe 15 minutes down the road, and they have a great plasma lab. They have all these labs, and we've been looking at how we can get some of that, peripheral business to our town since we are close by. And Princeton also is a very enclosed town. They can only build so much. So, how we can be part of their growth. The county, Somerset County, where we fall, so we are township and they are our county. They are also looking at different opportunities. I've been talking to the county commissioners to see how we can be more global in our reach for our businesses.
That's a great insight. I just wanted to hear from you on the sister city concept. Recently, I went to Hyderabad when I went to the IT minister. I was
Yeah.
discussing about this, and I'm trying to bring the flavor of connecting the city mayor here and the city mayor there, and the
Wonderful.
city police officer here and the police officer there. I did one, the incubator center. The T Hub is the one of the greatest, and it's almost greatest in the world. I would say T Hub. And I
Okay.
connected with Atlanta Tech Village here, the CEOs, both of the CEOs, and exchanged the vision, opportunities, investments, that sort of a thing. So I
Oh,
wanted to do next with the mayor of Hyderabad. Maybe I will also pull you into that, and the mayor of
absolutely. I think
Atlanta.
that's a wonderful idea. Wonderful idea.
So
Love it.
the reason is because it is global. We are no more local. We are
Yes.
global. I want to bring the different officials on this and see what are the synergies and opportunities. See,
Absolutely.
always we have worried more into IT, right? IT was the main connection between the countries because we have a
Mhm.
lot of talent. Now I wanted to touch upon different aspects how we can connect globally and make these cities very tightly working on different aspects of trade and businesses. So
Right.
definitely, I will take your help too
No,
on
you're
connecting this.
absolutely, absolutely welcome to that. And especially a town like Montgomery has so much opportunity that it would be great to connect. And I think the one thing I do bring up about how we do things in India is our sustainability kind of a life, right? We all
Mhm.
grew up with recycling. And these are aspects that, the developed nations are getting into, but we literally, I don't think we were throwing paper ever. There was someone who would come to the house, and we call it the raddiwala. They would take all the newspapers, and then they would give something in return. I remember there was some money exchanged, but nobody threw anything, right? And then the same newspapers were used to make bags, and we would buy little snacks and the newspapers. So I think those are initiatives that India has done so successfully for a long time. And I think that that's something that we can all, in these countries learn as well. I mean, we do have a robust recycling program, but then, you read in the news that, they're still finding place to, put the recycling, or it's getting merged into the regular garbage. So I think, so much potential, right? The
Absolutely, I think
sustainability is so important. And Montgomery Township is one of those places that we are dedicated to. If you look for Montgomery on a map, you'll see the preservation of our open space. We really work on having, it's, I think as a town, we have at least 8,000 acres of existing and proposed open space. So that's pretty much 40% of our town, is part of the open space program. So that basically means nobody can build over there. And we can have trails for our residents. The residents can look at our agriculture potentials. So I think when we see all of that, and India has so much to offer on that aspect, maybe that's another collaboration, right? To learn from each other.
absolutely. I think you touched upon a very good. The newspapers, the old clothes they used to collect
Right?
and would
Yeah, we
steal
all grew
steal
up with
the
that.
item. That
Right?
remembers
Nothing
when I
was thrown. Nothing went to the garbage heap. It was just recycled.
So, Mayor Nina, because as you are an immigrant and you are holding a number one position in a city called mayor, what are your challenges? What do you think the challenges you face so far, which you want to express to all the viewers so that they are very much strongly built based on all these
Right.
experiences?
I think that the challenges sometimes is, well, I will say for my own life is I don't have enough hours in the day. I know you were trying to reach me for a while, and then, obviously I just got, elected in January. So there is all of that, there is this, need or desire by others to understand how I got there, which I'm always open how I can help others. But yeah, I think one of the challenges is, when we are in leadership, is how do we get all of the work that we want to do with the resources we have, right? Because money is pretty finite. Taxes is something we don't want to raise as elected officials, because honestly, we all live in economies right now, especially where things are tough on families, and we want to be there, and we don't want to raise any taxes in our town. But at the same time, how do we do extra resources? One of my biggest challenges right now is during COVID. Montgomery is about an hour away from New York City. During
Mhm.
COVID, a lot of people from the city, from New York City, from Jersey City, Hoboken, people moved into Montgomery because, as I said, great school system, beautiful town, green spaces, people wanted to be here. Now, after COVID, people are, the corporate world is asking people to go back to work. So our biggest challenge in Montgomery is transportation and our accessibility. So if you drive into New York, it's about 2 hours, which many people do. I've had residents come up to me and say, I am now, this is one of the moms who said to me, she said, I'm spending 2 hours on the road. And that's time I don't have for my kids in the evening because, I mean, if you're going to be going 2 hours to work and coming back, and then you can't spend time with your kids and they're coming back from school, you have them at, whatever program. And she had a very good point. So to that, last year, we worked with the town next door, which is Hillsborough, and got a bus started to it restarted rather. It used to be there, but then of course during COVID it stopped, and that bus goes directly into Manhattan. You can also take a train. So there are different aspects. So my challenge basically is how to provide more accessibility, more transportation. With transportation is quality of life. Let's be honest, right? If people from my town want to go into the county college, how do they get there? They have to drive. So not everybody, is financially able to many times. And how, when there is no public transportation, it's really hard. So I think that to me is one of the big challenges. The other challenge is to do some, I'm working on having enough sidewalks to connect different parks, our own municipal building, our little downtown area, have that, these sidewalks, which is again money, so that people have, connectivity, so they can, walk to a park from their house, or they can, take a bike. So those are, I think, these are like challenges that you face. And then, of course, the mental health challenge, right? As a mayor, my focus is to make sure that all our residents are safe. They feel that there is help if they're going through, a life experience that is bringing them that anxiety, that there is resources within our town, within our public health department, within our PD to help them. So I think those, and that's always hard because, those resources, to have enough of social workers in your town to help people, all of that is financial. And sometimes you don't have the financial resources. So that's a challenge.
Excellent. So that, Mayor Nina, now I will ask little bit personal questions to you.
Sure.
So how do you stay connected with the Indo-American, different diversity people and between your family? Because I know that now you are very, very busy in your own schedules. So how do you manage?
Yeah, that's a very tough question to answer. You should definitely ask my kids and my husband. I think they see me coming and going. So yes, maybe soon I'll be able to have a balance. But at this point, it's been very, very busy. And to be honest, I do thrive on, I think, making a difference is kind of oxygen to me, and I can keep going, but then I feel, the rest of the family also needs to see me. So I'm working on that balance. But that can it sometimes get hard. But for the community, so there are a couple of things that we have already been doing. They get to get involved. We did so this year on May 4th, we will be doing our third color festival. You can call it, we call it the Spring Fling, you can call it Holi, but we do it in May. And that brings out the community, the Indo community. They all come out, and it's fun for them to connect. They bring their neighbors who are not Indians, obviously, and you'll see them all in their brand new white T-shirts. And I had one of my residents say, "Look, I'm wearing a brand new white T-shirt," and I could tell, well, they're not Indian because the Indians they know how the colors are going to destroy all their thing, but I think they love the fact that they can bring their neighbors and introduce them to something that was culturally there. But we've made a spring fling or color festival, not just what Holi is, we get the schools engaged, right? We get all the youth from the schools, they run different clubs. We bring visibility to their clubs so the kids can talk about, well, I'm a part of this, outreach program on there. I think kids are part of Red Cross, their kids part of, I believe there are different kinds of associations the kids are doing. And there's a music association. There is also something for sports. So they can have little tables. They can talk to the community about what they do. And when they have to raise funds, because every association or an organization needs to raise funds. So then the community knows, oh, well, I met that child at the Spring Fling. And so I understand what they're raising funds for, instead of, standing in front of a grocery store trying to, ask people for money. So that connectivity happens. We just had a very amazing, if I can say, Chinese Lunar New Year celebration. It was, I think, at least 200 people in school. We have a Chinese school in town, so they actually ran that. They had invited me as a guest, and I was able to actually speak at the Lunar New Year and talk about our shared experiences, right? Being immigrants, being Asian, and how we're all trying to raise our kids and make them good citizens in town. So that was amazing. They did a wonderful job. There's some beautiful pictures, which one day I will, or maybe I'll ask Lisa to share with you. Just brilliant. And then we, so it's always good to have different aspects. We also have a very actually robust Hindi school in town. And whenever you do another episode, you can do it with Sudhaji and Shivji, who have run that Hindi school, I believe now for almost 18 years. The Chinese school has almost been here for 20 years. And so, there is definitely the cultural aspect is pretty healthy in Montgomery. People understand each other. The Hindi school is doing well. The Chinese school is doing well. Our religious organizations, we have a Jewish center. We have 3 or 4 churches in town, and they run great programs. So there's a very big interconnectivity, and we do meetings which are there is a new group in town, well, not a new group, that just got revitalized, called Mosaic meaning different aspects. So now in that we have different faith leaders, we have teachers, we have I'm in there as the mayor. We have other community leaders who bring different aspects to it. So that kind of an organization makes people connected. It's not just, I don't want people to feel I'm Indian or I'm Asian or I'm, a Caucasian. We're all residents, right? We're all citizens. We're all together. So a group like Mosaic, I'm so grateful that they are in a rebirth situation. They've already run. And of course, our police force, we had our police captain, one of his officers, they were there. They got to understand culturally how to deal with different people, right? Because people come with different aspects of life, because they're either coming from a different country or they grew up with different value system. So they got to learn listening to everybody, how communities work. So I think I'm very proud of the Montgomery Mosaic effort as well.
I think that's very interesting to know, Mosaic, which is binding the different cultures, different
Yes. They have a
religions.
beautiful logo with all different colors. And no, I'm very proud of the residents of Montgomery, because everybody is engaged, everybody's trying to give their time. And even the new residents coming in, everybody's coming in with, I believe they're doing a Lodi celebration, which was supposed to be in January, Lodi and all the other, right? There's other January festivals, right? They're doing like a collaboration of them. And that's going to be, I think, in March. So even the new residents coming in, they're also coming up with events to do, for the town, so that people understand, that there is a vibrant culture out there.
I think this is really interesting, because this is need of the hour, and
Yes.
I appreciate that you are doing that, and this gives me a sense that I need to connect our mayor and you, and then
Oh,
see the
absolutely would love
synergies.
that.
I'll definitely do this kind of events.
Yes. No,
And
I think it's important. It's important for us to bring everybody on the table, right? It's, as I always
absolutely.
say, that, once we are at a decision-making table, we have a voice. And everybody, and it's our job, right, as community leaders, to give voice to the rest of the community.
Absolutely. I think probably I'll, in the interest of time, maybe a couple of questions and then we will
Yes,
close.
I was thinking that we are getting to the hour, right?
Thank you.
It's just so nice
You
to
know,
talk
this is
to you.
very interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting topics. You know, you need at least 2 hours, and in the interest, because
I'll
you are
have to
so
really
busy.
find 2 hours in my schedule. No, but I'm just, yeah, but it's so
I
nice
will.
to
I
talk.
would definitely tell you, Ninaji, if you keep talking, it will be 2 hours. You will not realize, but you will be very interested.
That is,
That I can
you are a
feel you
very
when you
good.
talk to me.
No, you're a very good host, if I can say. You do this profession really well. You're one of those hosts who
Thank
can
you.
make people comfortable. So I feel like, I can really share what's in my heart. Sometimes, in interviews, you can only talk so much. And, but I appreciate, you really have a very warm personality. You're made for this position or this job.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ninaji. My interest is only connecting people. How can they benefit from each other? And how can they be healthy and safe and then live happily? Right?
Absolutely.
So many of the Indo-Americans and NRIs look you as a role model now. So how do you balance the expectation of the community with the personal and professional goals?
Yeah, that sometimes can be, as I said, time-wise can be hard because, obviously I want to be everywhere where people are doing stuff. We had one of our um, community person whose daughter is a great dancer. So they had that recital, Arangetram, right?
Mhm.
And they wanted me to be, I made, of course, made the effort, but I'm not able to, the expectation definitely is that if anything is happening, they would like to, even for a housewarming, I'm getting, people are reaching out and saying, we would love for you to be there. It's very hard to balance, but I'll be honest with you, Praveen, I think we try because it is important to them as well to have someone come there. I was the guest of honor at the Garba, and then anything that they're doing, I try to balance it in my professional life gets and I'm part of a real estate office where I am the operating principal, so I have to, and I'm a regional uh, equity leader that you had mentioned, so there is a lot of demand on my time that way. But I think for me, I have realized that I'm sort of a representative of the community, and they are looking at me to say, okay, um, we would love for you to be here. It's our child's graduation because my child looks at you as an inspiration. So it's very hard to say no. And I'm trying my best to be everywhere I can. And honestly, I think at that point we owe it to our next generation, right? If whatever we can do to help them and to make them successful is something that we should all do. And that next generation doesn't have to be in the in that little silo of Asian or South Asian or Indian or Chinese or Greek. I think we're all together. The next generation basically means all our kids, all American kids, all global kids. What are we doing to help them? How are we making them resilient? How are we making sure that they have all the tools to be successful? I think that is on all of us. I mean, you as a leader in journalism, me as a mayor, the teachers in schools, the school board president. It is on us to make sure, because ultimately I think sometimes, when people get into a leadership position, could be community leader, could be a corporate leader, whatever, you somehow get stuck in that position. And I don't know if people's egos get in the way, but we forget that we are only in that position for a finite time. And what we can do for our community, for our kids, for the next generation, that's our legacy. Our legacy is not going around and saying, oh, I'm the mayor, or I'm the board president, or I'm the CEO of Google, or that's not what we are giving back. What we are giving back is what we did in the time that we were given in that position. So I think, to me, that that is the question that we all need to, ask ourselves. And sometimes we all struggle with it because time, there is no infinite time, right? It's like very finite. We all only have 24 hours. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm passionate about, what we can do for the next generation, what tools we can provide, how we can make them resilient, how we can make them successful, what are we doing that will help them. So that's why I'm at this place right now. So
Absolutely, Ninaji. So I think probably the last question and the message to the community as a mayor, because it's a proud moment for all of us being an
right,
Indo-American community and being in this country. You are representing a mayor of one of the city. It's really proud moment. So in this, also the expectation also builds in the community, right? So
right,
what are your few initiatives? Because if you take your 1 decade, you being 1 decade as a normal person, and the other decade you have been playing in a different roles in different committees and you have learned the system. So
right,
in these 20 years of experience you have mixed feelings, right? When you were not in the public service your thought process is different, when you are in the public service your thought process. So in this, what are the few initiatives really resonated to you that you have to do to the community, Indo-American community? What are those initiatives you wanted to do in your tenure?
right. You mean what I did as a just a public just as a volunteer in town, and what I'm doing different now as a public servant?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
question.
So I think if I go back to, I mean, it's different, right? The expectations from you are very different when you're a volunteer, right? You can you're a volunteer, but you're not expected to always be there. You can say, okay, well, I'm not able to volunteer for this particular program because I have these obligations. And so it's a very different mindset, right? Not to say that I was doing PTA, so there were functions that I was running. Similarly with Boy Scouts, with Girl Scouts, there were events that you do, even with Healthy Mind Healthy Body. When I had to do an event, I knew I had to be there, but you still had that little bit of flexibility, because that was not something you were committed to it, obviously, but it was not a position that you had taken an oath for, right? That taking that oath of public service, I think is the biggest differentiator. When you take that oath as a mayor of a town, and that you will protect the Constitution and you will protect the rest, and you're there for the country, it changes your mindset, because you feel like, you just you can't say no. If it is in the interest of your residents, you have to make time. You just can't say, okay, I can't do this because of this. But you took that oath to be there for your community, to be there for your residents. So I think it's a mindset shift, which sometimes people don't realize. I definitely have people asking me, we never see you. My friends, my larger family community, and I may have texts which are sitting for 10 days and I don't get a chance to return a text. But again, it's an oath I took. And I feel we are servant leaders. We are not, people think of them as leaders. We are servant leaders. We are public service people. We are serving the public. So when we take that oath, the commitment is very different. So that to me is the differentiator between doing what I was doing just as a volunteer in town and what I'm now doing as the mayor in town.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor Ninaji. I think we
I think
wish
we're at
you
the hour.
we wish you good luck,
Thank
and
you.
we are very proud of you. And then I'm
Thank you.
sure that you will serve our community to the best. Not only our community, the entire the residents of your city.
Yes,
And
residents of
wish you good
Montgomery.
luck.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
thank you, all the viewers and also the sponsors, especially the Ready CPA, who is a tax consultant, and also the Spearsoft for sponsoring this program. And I wish everyone come forward to support this program. This is only for Indo-Americans and NRIs. Your problems, your achievements, I want to get inspired by the youth and make this country a better country, and all of our community to have a voice in this country. Again, thank you, Ninaji, for your time. I know that 1 hour is not a small time for a mayor, and we wish you good luck.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe. Be happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the chance to speak to you and to your viewers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.